Good morning, Powur Hitters and Solar Warrior Tribe. Today is Tuesday, May 10th, 2022. My name is Jarrett McAllister, your mentor and co-host, alongside my main man, Jonathan Brunasso. What is up, player? How are you, bro?
Boom. Good morning. Happy Tuesday, everyone. May 10th. Excited to be here.
Yeah, man. It's good. We're back in rotation. Tom has been awesomely hosting these meetings the past couple of weeks, doing a stellar job. I'm like, Jesus, I need to step my game up and come up with like some sales quotes in the beginning, to start this thing off. A little bit of gratitude, but no, hey, shout out to the Solar Warrior Tribe. It's been awesome collabing with you guys. This has been great.
That is right. Yeah, Tom is awesome. I last night I was like, oh wait, I should update the slide decks because I have to do the training today. So yeah, big shout out to everyone. Everyone's welcome on these trainings. Tom's team, Powur Hitters, anyone is all welcome. So we're going to start off with some success stories. I want to shout out Brent real quickly. I had a lead and he came across the same lead, and there's a whole block that's starting to materialize. So Brent, share a little bit of the success on this block.
Yeah, I would love to. Can you see me and hear me okay?
We can, yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so Jonathan and I happen to run into the same customer, and one of them signed, and then it was just a domino effect. We had two more neighbors sign within a week or two after that, and the neighborhood is just like a really tight neighborhood. They were super happy with Powur, and it was just, I've been getting calls constantly with neighbors asking questions and interested. And one of the neighbors happened to be a multi-term mayor for the city. And I was able to present a proposal for him. He's doing some research, but he also referred me his son. And coming up, I actually have a couple more Zooms with a couple more neighbors. So it's just been an awesome neighborhood. And the families who have gone solar so far have made the joke that they're going to have all of their neighbors go solar, and they should have their solar system paid off in the next year or two from all their referrals. So very happy neighbors, very happy community, and so glad to be a part of it. Thank you, Jonathan.
Awesome.
Hey, Jonathan, if I may ask him a couple questions about those deals.
Well, two things. How many homes are we helping on that block, Brent? Are you knocking? Are you doing flyers? Are you making ambassadors?
You know what? Just communications with the current projects. I try to at least communicate with them twice a week, and then part of it is kind of like a friend basis, but also business. I just try to make them feel really comfortable. And with that being said, they've already invited me over, giving them some gifts. Just being there on their re-roof days was a huge help, and then talking to the neighbors when I'm there for 5 or 6 hours on the re-roofs or install days. And it's just been being there and being part of it has really helped that.
Awesome. And then Brent and I are going to plan like a snow cone truck or an ice cream truck day for the entire neighborhood, guys. And we're going to invite blocks and blocks of homes to make it a big party. So Jarrett, what question did you have?
Yeah, I just had a couple questions. So Brent, first of all, that's awesome, man. Fire, brother. Congrats. One is as far as solar, what are you selling? Like what packages, panels and inverters? And then two, where are you pricing these at? Knowing that, hey,
the whole nother
start getting referrals. What's that?
This is a whole nother training, bro.
Yeah.
Well, just quickly.
I'll just make it short. The IQ8Ms, the Rec 400s, and
top of the line.
I've slipped in a couple batteries, not in that neighborhood, but typically the 400s. And then I'm pricing them fairly low.
Got it. Awesome, Brent. Congratulations on that. Can't wait to visit that block with you. Anthony Bonilla, what you got?
JB, good morning. Hey, I don't know if you remember, but 2 years ago today, you mentored me on my first Zoom appointment for my first client I got installed. So thank you, man. I do have a success story, but I just wanted to share that with everyone. Thank you, Jonathan Brunasso. You played a huge role on my success here. Jordan Shaw and I teamed up on a client It was a referral from an ambassador of mine. We're going up against SunPower, and definitely that client and definitely ended up going with us instead of SunPower out of Laguna. And I think I also inspired Jordan to go to Hawaii to go close some deals from out there last week. So I think he has a few success stories too, man.
Yeah, just finalized some of the financing basically for 2 of my contracts while I was literally in Maui. So thanks Anthony for letting me mentor you on that. We're gonna do good things in that community in Laguna.
Jordan Shaw, the second system expansion king. I think we all have to go to Hawaii and sell solar there, guys, if you want to be successful, or the Philippines like Wally Arita. All righty.
Be like Wally.
Let's go with Owen, and then we'll go to Scott. Owen Carey, NorCal Mentor. What's up? Just go ahead and unmute yourself, Owen.
Sorry, I had to go outside since my son's a psychopath. Just kind of a crazy week. I just broke my record. I did 6 deals in a week, so pretty excited about that, and all kinds of different directions. I tested positive for COVID on Saturday, so I changed the meeting to a Zoom, and then my client was there with their daughter, so I got a 2-for-1. So that was beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome, Owen. Well, looks like you're feeling okay. Good to hear from you. Scott Venecia, Las Vegas Mentor in the house. Good
What's
morning.
up? Hey, so I'm just, I'm a Wally Arita in training. So I'm on a mini vacation / other stuff. And so I've got 5 presentations this week while I'm here. I got 2 today and then 3 throughout the rest of the week. You got a project in permitting right now and just excited, just working it.
Awesome. I might be moving out there part-time in August in Vegas, and I'll be putting solar on my own house. So we're gonna have some fun and do some events out there, my friend.
Sweet. Looking forward to it, brother.
Brian, Florida Mentor, who found Mike Patterson in the house. Good afternoon.
What's going on, guys?
Howdy.
So I've been working, solar part-time, trying to ease into it and get out of real estate. And of course, as soon as I really try to get out of real estate, all of a sudden I get 3 new listings. Ties me back in, and I can't turn down family and past clients. But I did pick up a past client that just went solar with me and signed a deal. So I'm excited about that. And I'm excited because I got somebody that just saw one of my signs and went to the website, filled out the entire form, said they're ready to get a quote from me. And I have 2 other quotes outstanding that I'm waiting to get yes on. Love
it. Awesome work, Brian. Hey, listings and solar realtor almost.
Yeah.
Who would think?
Who would think? I might have learned it from you even.
Is Michael Pham out there? Mike Pham, are you there? Can you unmute yourself or speak for 1 minute?
Oh, and one other thing before you cut me, I forgot to mention, Mike and I'm sitting here at my son's house today, and we have an install going with full battery backup system. So my son, who's in the military and who's also a fireman paramedic, when he's not here, he's taking care of his wife and his baby, my grandson, and making sure that they have full power security.
Awesome. That's the best way. Get solar on your own home and preach it to everybody else. I don't know if Mike Pham can come off a mute, guys, but Mike Pham is a field survey. So he's a crowdsourced field surveyor. You can get $100 plus mileage if you want to go do field surveys and take a photo pack. And he's, I think, one of the best at it. Every time he goes to a home, which is literally every day, he takes a video of himself with the house in the background and says, this homeowner's going solar. They got a pool. They're looking at buying an EV. They got a $350 bill. Now they're going to $175. They're excited before summertime. He does this every freaking day on his social media stories, guys, and it's paying off. He's got 5 or 6 leads alone from doing this. He's talking to some neighbors. So if you don't follow Mike Pham on Facebook or Instagram, he's doing pretty awesome. So shout out to him. Tom Cotter, any last shares or success stories or new members you want to mention to the team?
No, thanks, Jonathan. I have an announcement.
Ooh.
So I don't know if you know, but May is Zombie Awareness Month. It's a time to focus on all things that should be dead but aren't, like your home electric bill. So kill the bill. Go solar. So there's a little tip for you for social media posting.
I don't even know what to say.
Zombie Awareness Month. You got to kill the bill, man. Kill the bill.
Kill the bill.
No, thank you, Jonathan. I'm excited for our roofing training today.
That's awesome. I'll do three quick updates, and then we'll get right to the training. Thank you, Tom, for those words of wisdom. Powur Updates, read your newsletter. We have secured tons and tons of REC panels, ladies and gentlemen. So really good announcement there. I would share this on social media. It's really awesome to see Powur securing procuring this equipment for us so we can continue to succeed right now. And then I just realized they updated this marketing material. It was announced on Wednesday, but they've added more. If you see the screenshot here, tons and tons of graphics that you can post on social media. Post one every few days. They're in Spanish as well. I put the link in the chat here, but awesome marketing materials. I'm really happy to see that. So post those today. And then some future trainings and events. Today, we're raising the roof. Also at 12 o'clock, as always, on Powur Calendar, there's Solar Sales Tuesday. PowurCalendar.com has tons of trainings. And if you're new here, every Thursday at 12 and 5 Pacific, there is a new consultant training you should attend. Reminder, June 4th is an all-out blitz. Everywhere in Powur operates, all the states and markets, we're doing a one-day training, solar Saturday training, all states. It's going to be huge. So make sure to attend your local Super Solar Saturday training. Build into that. Invite guests, invite new consultants. This is the lead up before Dallas, July 15th and 16th. In-person event. If you haven't registered for this event or the gala, go to powur.com/world. It's going to be super exciting. 8 of us mentors and leaders yesterday booked a flight out of Ontario, July 13th. First class, got to sell a few more deals to pay for those tickets. But much, much more on PowurCalendar.com. Okay, so today we are super thankful to have 2 amazing individuals regarding roofs. And roofs are becoming more and more important, especially in California here. Roofs are being replaced left and right. And a good percentage of jobs have roofing work and needs. And we're even finding that roofers want to add solar to the platform. So roofing, just like HVAC, just like other industries, are super important here. Some of you may not know that Erwin and I actually worked at Sunrun out of Downey together. He is a mentor on the platform, but he is crushing it and helping the team and Powur with roofing. And of course, Kristin Dennis, a friend of Rick Joseph and all the executives in Powur, is here improving our systems every day. Couldn't be more excited to have you guys. I'll stop sharing here and let you share your screen, Kristin and Erwin.
Cool. Yeah, thanks you guys for having us. We love to talk to sellers about roofing, and I have just a few slides to kind of go through and update you all on things that we're working on and kind of where we're going. And just to give you some perspective, Christina Johnson started on the team running the roofing program all on her own about a year ago. And it's taken off, as you know, and there's lots of things for us to work on and figure out, and information to share and get aligned with sellers. So we're continuing to build out that program. We love your feedback on things that feel like missing pieces. So continue to provide us with that. And I'll go ahead and share here. Let's see.
Looks good.
Okay, how are we looking? I don't ever use Zoom, so we use Google Meet. So you guys have to just let me know how it goes. All right. So wanted to give you guys first just a quick overview of what our team looks like today, the roofing team. So as I mentioned, Kristina started about a year ago. So as of the first of this year, this was the roofing team. It was Kristina. Today, this is what the roofing team looks like. So we're growing and continuing to build. Kristina is managing really the roofing team and roofing coordinators. Erwin, who you'll hear from shortly, is a roofing specialist. So he's not only helping with the day-to-day projects, but he's also helping support the team with training internally, training for sellers. He's helping with escalation and just kind of program build out. So we're super grateful to have him on the team, and especially because he has that seller perspective. He just brings such a great knowledge base into the group. So another exciting announcement, we're building out a home upgrades channel to support this overall home upgrades group that we're going to be pushing through. So as Jonathan mentioned, we'll be opening up other scopes for home upgrades in the coming months, probably starting with HVAC. And so right now I'm looking for a home upgrades specialist to help me build that out and project manage all that that entails, and like building all of that out. So it's a big job, and more to come. Wanted to talk to you guys about some enhancements we had in Q1. So here's some of the things that we accomplished. These were goals that the executive team helped us kind of identify as we were working through, like, high level, what do we want to do in roofing? So as I just mentioned, we have built out the team. We've also built out lots of processes and policies. So you can see here's a snapshot of some of the things that we've been working on over here to the right. All of these things can be found in knowledge base. So if you come into knowledge base and you type in roof or roofing, something like that, either of those things will work. There's all kinds of great content for you guys that we try to keep live and up to date. So if there's any changes, you'll find that here. And we're continuing to build this out. So keep looking for more content as time passes. We've also created a lot of training content. So some of this is training. We're very focused on training our internal roofing team, as well as providing whatever content we can for the seller group. We've expanded our footprint with new markets. So Erwin will get into that shortly, but we're opening new markets in Solo. So hoping to continue to grow that as well. And then we've been really focused on just high level, like system functionality and enhancement. So within Powur OS, I'll get to the details here soon, but in Powur OS, we've built out a structure for managing the roofing project end to end and how it fits in with PV projects. So we've created a workflow management system that's task and milestone based, so that you cannot move on to one task until you've completed the first task. And I'll show you a screenshot of what that looks like in a future slide here. We've also been working really hard on the solo roofing proposal functionality, and what does the proposal entail? What do we want it to say that is the best presentation we can give to our customers? And there's a lot of room to grow still on this topic. We've been working for really the last probably 6 to 8 weeks on daily bugs with the roofing proposal. I know you all have probably experienced that, and we are so sorry. We know that it's created some delays on our team, but it's something that we've had Jonathan Budd working with the leadership over at Solo to say, we got to fix this, so we're moving on. So we've seen some changes. We feel like it's getting better, and hopefully you guys are too, but provide us with feedback if you have any feedback there on making that better. Okay, so what are we focused on for Q2? So right now we're working on utilization of the Powur OS workflow management structure that I just was talking through. So this week we're finishing testing for that, and then it will be launched hopefully in the next couple of weeks. So just to give you guys a little screenshot of what this looks like. And I know this doesn't really affect your guys' day to day, but really once we get going in this new system, it will create better cycle times, better visibility for our internal teams. We can know exactly what stage and be just cleaner. So here's a snapshot of this milestone called work. And here are some of the tasks that are underneath that milestone based on whether or not it's a requirement of a job. If there's a site survey that's required for the job because it's a more complicated scope, then we'll have tasks for that. If there's a permit required, which in most markets there is, then there's tasks that are required for that. And you cannot move on to the next task without having the predecessor task be completed first. So this is just high level overview. I'll show you another screenshot. Each task has its own task details. So for example, like if we're wanting to show, yes, we have a work order for this project, we will have to upload that work order into the system before we can move on to the next task. So all of the assets and notes and such for each task will be available for the team to look at. I just talked to software today about getting the seller's visibility into just overall stages so that you guys can also be able to log in and see like, where's my roofing project at? What stage is it in? So we're going to be working on that, and I'll have an update for this group shortly, hopefully. Another big thing we're working on for Q2 is pricing. So we're working with Jonathan and Ethan to do a full pricing analysis to make sure we're saving our customers money and making money for you guys and for Powur. So more to come on that. We're also redoing our roofer MSA just to create better detail on like process and SLAs so that we can really be, managing our partners to the contract. Continuing to build out staffing. And then we're continuing to build out processes and policies. So here's a few of the things that we're working on right now. To just create some policies and rules and structure so that the teams are all on the same page when it comes to some of these items. The last thing for Q2 that we're working on is a sales certification. So super exciting. I've been meeting regularly with Cami and our instructional designer to kind of build out what this will look like. So we'll have more detail for you guys later, but this is just a way that we can share like the basics of roofing and set our sellers up for success when closing roofing deals to make sure that they're in the know with the basics. And that's it for me. I'm going to turn it over to Erwin to jump in and talk about the proposal and some enhancements we've made. And then we'll also go into some Q&A here in a bit.
Thanks, Kristen. I appreciate the introduction here. Good morning, everyone. Erwin Lauber here, your solar roofing specialist. So I'm going to go over some of these solo markets that we have open now as of 5/8. So back then, we've only had California and Texas as a solo market, but now we've expanded to Colorado, DE, MD, NC, NJ, NV, PA, Texas, and Utah beyond that. And so this is back in April 2022, and now we're in May 2022. So more markets are now live in solo. So whenever you request a proposal through your hamburger sign, you're not going to be able to do that directly for these other markets as well. These other markets that are in yellow will still be a pass-through bid, meaning that we have to go out and send a Google questionnaire form to get a bid directly from a roofing partner. And Kristen, can you hop on to the next slide? Thank you. So the difference between a roofing bid and a solo roofing proposal is really that these options are two in one of they're different options here. So the solo option is you get an email from us directly, QC priced out for you with the simplified roof types, which is these four on the left side. So you have the asphalt shingle standard, you have the tile standard weight concrete tile, you have the clay tile, which is the inlay compound where we do like a picture frame around where the solar will go and put the clay tiles all around. And then the fourth option is other roofing types like metal roofs, standing seam, corrugated metal, decorative tile roofs. And then we also have updated adders. So the adders that we have now are extra layer removal for anything above the second layer. Steep pitch adder for 712 to 912 pitch. And then we have an extra steep pitch adder for super steep pitch. And some of the below visuals here kind of show you a description, because I know we have often we get questions on, you know, what's the asphalt shingle? What does that entail? Tile, standard weight concrete tile, what does that look like? And also the clay tile, the inlay, and anything else beyond that is other roof types. Next slide, please. And just to go over some of these options too, I wanted to address the roofing bit. So when you do get that option for, let's say, a metal roof, standing seam, or decorative tile roofs, things of that nature, that'll be all through a roof bid. So we'll submit that manually to a roofer, get that back over to you guys, and basically send that over directly to you. There's no margin baked in there. So if you do want to add any kind of margin on top of that, that's additional. So let's say the roof comes back at 20K. You can always add in 2K, 3K, etc. as a buffer for any change orders, any wood replacement, or if you want to add margin. But that's basically it. I mean, there really isn't much to it. I want to share my screen, Kristin, to show them like a visual of, how do you even get there? I know a lot of questions come in through the through our side on how do you even request the roofing proposal. So I'm going to share my screen and then show you guys exactly how to do that. And this is a quick project here that I pulled up. So this is a roofing proposal. And I know some of you guys, for example, I want to kind of address this live. So oftentimes this whole square, this whole thing that you see selected here is a whole re-roof. Now, I know oftentimes you want to do like a partial. So then we'll come in and we'll actually do the measurements. And let's say you want to take off roof plane 1, everything else except roof plane 2, for example. So that's pretty much it. I think it's number 6 too. So now you have just roof plane number 2, which is going to be a partial re-roof. And that'll be a partial on this side here. So anything that's in pink is always deselected automatically. Normally it's going to be selected for the whole thing unless we request it from the field. Like, hey, Erwin, can we get the just roof plane number 2? So it'll be that option. And then I also want to show you some of the adders that we were talking about earlier, which is the extra layer removal. If there's like a second layer, third layer removal, this is what the adder would be, $100 per square. And if it's like a super steep pitch, which I believe this one isn't, 612 pitch, we're not going to add that in there. So you wouldn't need to add that in there. And this is going to be a standard comp shingle re-roof. And this is already priced up for you. Now this already has margin baked in there. So if you want to remove that, we have to request it manually. And then we'll add a line item to that here based on the score count. And I also want to show you guys another option of how to request that roofing proposal. So I'm going to go back into Solo, and I'm going to pull up a project here. So over here, I'm going to click on Solo. Okay, guys, so while this loads, I'm going to show you guys how to request that roofing proposal. And once again, this is for any market that's open now, which is California, Texas, and all the other states I mentioned earlier. So you're going to go to your solar proposal, you click on the hamburger sign, you're going to scroll down, and you're going to click on request roofing proposal. If for some reason you requested it, but for some reason it came out blank, you open it up and it's zeroed out, you can always come back here. I can click on this and ask for revision. And any notes, please include. And then that's it. So we'll get that on our end, and then we'll be able to request that over to you guys and send over price out. One thing to note too, once you guys get a roofing proposal submitted, you might see an email coming back from Solo saying, hey, your roofing proposal's in, and there's like a link. You try to click on that, and oftentimes it takes you to a login page. So that's like an automated message from Solo. So if you click on that, and if it does open for you, it's not priced out correctly, it's probably going to show a different scope, or it's going to be zeroed out. So you always want to make sure that these links, these Solo links or Solo roofing proposal links always get sent back to you from us, either from myself, Luis, or Christina. Once we send this out to you in a formal email, priced out, then you know it's already been QC'd and priced out. And if you have any other changes, like, hey, can we get roof plan number 2 deselected, or can we also include the garage, or hey, we need to account for X amount of wood, or anything like that you want to communicate with us, we can go back and make it the adjustment from there. But in a sense, this is pretty much it. It's pretty straightforward. I don't think really too crazy on this. It's very easy. I've just kind of showed you guys how to request that. And now I want to open it up to Q&A because I know there's a lot of questions on the field. So
Yeah, Erwin, real quick, just did I understand you to say that you no longer are including a margin that we add? I mean, it's not included. We as the consultants add a margin in.
That's for pass-through bids. Pass-through bids are direct pricing, so there's no margin in those pass-through bids. For these Solo proposals, there is a $50 margin baked in there.
Yeah, so I'll clarify. The states that he showed earlier that are Solo roofing states, they will automatically include $50 per square of margin, and that should be in the email. In the states that we're not using Solo, it's what's called a pass-through bid.
Okay.
Those ones will not show margin. And so in the states that are Solo, you can do what he just did in Solo, request it. And if it's not a Solo state, Erwin, we're still using the Powur Re-Roof questionnaire Google form, is that right?
Yes, correct. So we do have a Google form out there. So if it falls between a market that's not live in Solo, we are using that Google questionnaire form to submit that manually. And then we'll have to order a roof measure, send it out to a partner, and then get it sent back to you guys.
Got it. Okay, I'm gonna just share one or two things, and then we will get to the chat of questions, and then we'll get to the people that have raised their hand as well. So I just shared in the chat, if you can see this, this is the Google form Powur Re-Roof questionnaire. So if you do want a re-roof in a non-Solo state, fill out the information and then follow the steps here. Also, I put in the chat a pretty handy YouTube video training I did before about concrete tile versus metal roof versus different types of asphalt shingle, different types of concrete tile, presidential comp or wood shake. So if you want to learn about all these fun roofing types, especially in California, watch that video. And then one more thing too, Erwin was referring to comp out, picture frame, recessed. It's common in California or wherever there's lightweight tile, but if there's clay or lightweight or something very fragile, they do have to remove those clay tiles to the plyboard. Make sure you have a nice new paper there. And then they're going to put composition shingle. Ideally a similar color to the tile. They're going to install the solar on that composition shingle, so you don't have to add a mounting adder, but you do have to get a custom quote from the roofing department. Then they're going to install the solar. Then they're going to backfill those delicate clay tiles up around the solar array, giving it a sunken custom look, like you could see on some of these pictures here. So yeah, a lot of companies might turn down different roof types, but we are able to offer this. Again, there's no mounting adder for clay tile. That's been removed. You do need a custom quote from the roofing department. All right, and then I know Michelle Bunch asked about Idaho, Erwin. Do we know if Idaho is a Solo state or a pass-through bid?
Yeah, based on the visual, I believe that's still a pass-through bid state. I don't think it's live in solo just yet. Kristin might be able to clarify on that one.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I'm taking a look here. So we do have our HIC, there's a couple of checkpoints that we have before we can turn on a market in solo. So this is one that looks like it's ready to go. We just haven't turned it on in solo. And part of this was looking at like all of the markets that we can turn on. We were looking at volume and requests that were coming on, and we're doing it sort of in a phased approach. So Idaho, along with a few others, will come next, probably in the next few weeks. So we'll be sure to update the teams when we're ready to turn that on in solo.
And it should just show up in solo versus not being there. Is that a pretty clear indicator?
Yeah, and then another thing to look at is in knowledge base. The very first article that I was kind of showing through is anytime we make any adjustments to which markets are live in solo versus not, that's the source of truth. So please go there if you have questions about specific markets.
Okay, great. And someone asked about where are we seeking roofing partners? So actually roofers that Powur can give jobs to potentially. I know that California, Texas, and probably Florida, we do not need roofers there.
Yeah, so I mean, I think pretty much in every market we are maxed with roofers that are on our MSA that seem to be performing well. We are getting better at performance management, and that's something that's an initiative for us. To have some additional headcount to help us with that, creating scorecards and all kinds of cool stuff. But for now, we're getting a lot of requests from the field. We don't mind them. If you have an idea for a roofer, please, let the teams know. We have the business development team that's vetting them. But for most markets right now, we're not short on roofers.
Okay, great. And then I guess one question is, if someone says, hey, the homeowner wants to use their own roofer, and there's this confusion around a homeowner rebate, or maybe the roofer should join enterprise to be able to do the install. What's the guidance right now around those items?
Yeah, I mean, if a homeowner is wanting to use their own roofer, it goes through the homeowner rebate. If sometimes there's an exception where we can onboard that roofer prior to assigning it to that customer's job. But that takes some time. So we vet our roofers really carefully, and we make sure that they meet all of our compliance checkpoints. We get them on the MSA. They have to agree to our pricing, things like that. And so it's not just like a flip the switch sort of thing. But if you have some time and the roofer is willing to go through our process, then we can always onboard the roofer for that customer.
Okay, great. Someone asked, how long should it take to get a roof proposal back from a non-solo market pass-through bid? What's the normal business hours guidance there?
Yeah, typically that's about 2 to 3 days. We've seen it take longer, where we actually do send out the roof measurement to our partner. And then oftentimes it's even taken about a week to hear back from our partner. So it is taking a little bit of time since they are building these out manually themselves. So we try to aim for a 48 to 72 hour turnaround for those. It often does take, within that time frame. Maybe it's quicker than that, 24 hours, even same day often. But if we do have instances where they might take longer than that, it might take a week. I've had one take about 2 weeks to get back because it was a special scope. Somebody had to go out on site and actually take a measurement and see any kind of roof discrepancies. But yeah, oftentimes it should be 48 to 72 hours to hear back from a roofing bid.
Got it. Yeah, I just told someone the other day it's taken a little longer to get the roof bid back. Roof prices are changing with inflation every few weeks. Things are changing. This proposal is only good for a few weeks. So really play into that right now is my recommendation. Someone asked about Solar Insure covering the roof. Yes, it does cover the roof penetrations where the solar is installed. On non-solar, penetration or roof planes, if we do the roof work, there's a 10-year labor warranty, I believe, right?
Yep, correct.
Let's go ahead and go to Mike Berg. If you have a question, go for it, Mike.
Thank you. Yeah, I've just been having real struggles with getting roofing bids at all. And any response from the roofing team, I mean, it's zero. And I don't understand. When I request a quote in Solo, I send it off. But there's no real indication of if it's been received, is it coming back, we're working on it. You know, just communication is really, really poor. So I'm hoping that you guys can answer to that, please.
Yeah, I can speak to a little bit of it. Maybe Erwin has some color as well. I actually was in the roofing inbox this morning and saw a couple of emails from you, Mike, following up on a couple of your requests for quote or proposal. And yes, I think that we can get a lot better at responding, saying, hey, we're taking a look at it. I think, you know, the SLA for our team that we're always trying to tighten up is right now 2 business days to review and provide the updated proposal to you guys. Like I mentioned, we had, you know, some major solo issues that really put us back, like, you know, it was like 3 weeks worth of proposals that we were having to recreate and re-review. And so we're still catching up from that. And we had a additional roofing coordinator start yesterday. So we're building out the team. We're going to be hiring another one. We're interviewing for that right now. So we just are having a huge influx of volume and system problems, and we are working hard to fix it, and we apologize. So we don't want you guys to have to follow up. We want you guys just to get what you need so that you can go close a deal. And so we're working on it. Another thing that I think that, you know, now that we have had some changes to the solo roofing proposal and simplifying the roof types into just 4 different categories, we're trying to get really simplistic with the way that we sell solar, and then we can sell roofs, and then we can get more detailed, you know, after that proposal goes through. But we're hoping to eliminate this checkpoint where the team is reviewing each proposal. So that's coming soon. Also, we're going to be setting you guys up with the tools that you'll have at your fingertips to do the review that we are doing right now on your behalf for these more simplified roof types. And so that's hot on our list, and hopefully, you know, within the next 4 weeks, we'll be turning that on for you guys.
Awesome. Yeah, and some of the solar pros, Mike, like use near map or use measurement tools, and we know that comp is 550 or picture frame 725. Of course, I don't expect everyone to do that or know that, but some of us have a little workaround just to give an estimate. Do we do CalPac roofing? Somebody asked. CalPac, that's a new one for me. I'm assuming.
Yeah, no, we don't offer that as far as the scope. And if, I mean, I don't even think we can roll that into a loan. But for the most part, it would just be a standard scope. I'm sure once it gets to upper management, it would be a DQ. Anything that falls beyond the normal scope, standard comp, concrete tile, clay tile, tile resets, things like that, most likely if it's going to be a DQ. Our partners might be able to bid on it, but even then, you know, to warranty that, it's probably going to be a hard stop.
CalPac looks like stone coated metal, Ryan. So like if we're installing solar on it, we're going to have to do a inset, recessed inlay. Otherwise, if you're looking for a roofer to do that, then we're going to have to get a custom quote most likely for that.
And I'll just add to that, Jonathan, like one of the things that we're really thinking about from a strategy perspective for roofing is to have an offering that is straightforward and fast and easy to close a deal. And when we have like this really complicated scopes, you know, we're willing to dive into those and try to figure it out, but those are a distraction and get our team like super behind on just processing, getting quotes out there. So just for some perspective, that's kind of the strategy that we're going with right now. And then once we get really good and fast, and you guys see these proposals coming back really fast, then we'll be kind of dabbling into like, okay, what else can we provide for the team?
And then welcome to Kyle. He asked if there's a metal roof adder. It depends on the metal roof, Kyle. If it's standing seam, yes, it's in the solo proposal under mounting adders. If it's corrugated metal, otherwise, if it's like stone coated metal, you need to get a custom roof quote for an inset recessed inlay pitch frame installation. Let's go to Desi. Thanks for waiting so long, Desi. If you want to unmute and ask your question.
No, that's okay. The waiting is worth it. Thank you guys for everything that you are doing in the roofing department. We are moving forward with this now. But I have a question about projects that's been taking long. I know you explained it, Christy. But what we hear is we don't get any subcontractor offer when it's a project where it's not solo market, okay? I'm talking about Florida. So we are getting those response all the time for 12 days already. There is no subcontractor is responding to our bet. So how can we handle this? Or how can we escalate this, please?
So I just want to recap your question. You're asking in non-solo markets, you have a subcontractor that you're asking for a bid from and you're not receiving response, or our team is not supporting you and getting a timely response back?
No, your team are responding, and I'm glad for that. But the response that they are getting from the subcontractors is no response. So it's like I request a proposal for roofing, and you, I guess, I'm betting and looking for somebody to do it, but you don't get any answer. So and it's been 12 days already, and nobody's answered to do those jobs. So how can we escalate this? We tell the client, hey, we don't do roofing. What is the exact move here? Thank you.
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think I'm making a note here, and maybe we can connect, or you can send me an email so that I can get your email and get a response back to you and just kind of dig into what's happening in Florida. Maybe we need to be sourcing subcontractors, even though we're not using them through solo. We need to be able to have, from what I understand, we have a huge, we're like over capacity on where we're at with roofers. So I have not heard this about Florida. So
yeah, and I know we have good in Florida. In fact, I have the roofing company working with us in the Fort Myers area, but this is in Miami program. So this is a project in Miami, and it's been
Miami
a long time. Yeah.
Okay, I'll dig into that and follow back up with you.
Michelle Bunch, how can we help? Michelle, if you're there, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Okay. There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you. Kristin, again, we thank and appreciate everything you guys do, but I just have a quick question. When you showed us the roofing org chart, it really helped put it in perspective, because I've had so many people sending emails with my recent roofing proposals. And my question is, how does Cody Smith fit in this? Because before you guys all existed, Cody was my go-to man.
Yes, Cody's awesome. So Cody's on a different team. He's on the business development team, and his job is to support roofer vetting, sourcing, and onboarding. So he's like the front end of the roofer's journey at Powur. And then once we have them onboarded, he passes them off to us and says, hey, we have a new roofer, they're good to go. And then we take them and do the day-to-day transactions with the roofer.
Okay, so that's true whether it's just a installer or a roofer who wants to come on the platform, or if we have an enterprise client that's bringing on a roofer, all that continues to go to Cody.
Yes, exactly.
Got it. Okay, perfect. Thank you. And I just want to ask one last thing. And Larry, I think, is asking the same question. I have 3 consultants who have requested roofing proposals, and when they get sent the link and they click to open it, it just takes them to a solo screen where it's asking for their solo credentials. And they've called solo and they just say you use your Powur login ID. They cannot get into the solo platform to actually view their proposal, like the sheet. I can, if they send me the link, I can open it through mine, but they can't seem to get in.
Erwin, can you speak to that?
Someone's typing something, reset. So
Yeah.
they've tried all of that.
So usually when that happens, it's typically for us, for some reason, Solo always sends an automatic link to your email directly or to that consultant. And they'll say, hey, this is a, it doesn't say automated message, but they'll say, hey, this is your Solo link. Here's the link. You click on that and it doesn't open up. It's just, it takes you to a login page. That happens to us too. It's an automated message that Solo sends out whenever a proposal set is actually generated for you. And we're trying to see if we can remove that because it does cause confusion. But if it doesn't come from us directly, like myself, Luis, Christina, Kristin, Roofing Inbox, then with like the whole verbiage, then it's not priced out. It's not, it's typically just an automated message from Solo. So if you do get that, I would say just wait for us to send the actual link from our actual roofing department. And then that way you can open it up because typically those are just automated messages from Solo.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. That's usually the automated message. But if someone does need their Solo logins, work with pre-sales and use the form that I just put in the chat if you really need to get Solo logins. But otherwise, just wait for the email to go ahead and come through, like Erwin said.
Yeah, and just for a little extra perspective, Solo is a solar proposal tool, and we've pushed them to provide roofing proposals. So there's some things that we're working with them on a daily basis to get fixed. One of them being that automated email.
I'm going to try to go through a few more questions here, guys, and wrap this up soon. But we had a few questions on the rebate. Just to clarify, we can do rebates even in Solo markets like Cali. Of course, you should avoid this at all costs, but can we just explain from a very basic level what that means? Can we even do it? Because a lot of times we get pushback.
Yeah, you know, Christina makes the call on these on a case-by-case basis, but if there's a scenario where it makes sense, we can have the customer go and pay for the roofing work and still lump it into the loan. So, and what would happen is once we have, there's a whole actually knowledge base article on it. If you guys are interested, it talks about all the different steps, but once the work is completed, we have a certificate of completion that the customer signs acknowledging, yep, this work was done. This is how much it was. And then we reimburse the customer. So that is an option in Solo markets, but it's more of a case-by-case basis because it does put Powur at risk and it's like a workaround process.
Right. And they're going to need to have an invoice uploaded, pictures of completion. There's going to be a whole checklist, guys. And then the roofer's going to want some money before we pay the homeowner. It gets complicated. So try to avoid that process. Nick has a question. He recruited a solar install partner who's interested in becoming a partner. Google form email were provided to Powur. Again, Nick, depending on the market, we're pretty much maxed out on the need of roofers. We have a pending project for roof and solar with no answer. Google form sent in a few days ago. Yeah, so I mean, in my opinion, if you get them to join as enterprise, they can be a little bit expedited. Still could take a week or two minimum. If they're not enterprise, we don't need roofers right now. So you may have to try to go down the rebate path, which is going to take some time. Either way, sounds like you need to get with some leadership, reach out to me, because those are the options for your situation. If I said that right, Kristin.
Yep.
All right. Cynthia Alvidrez, I've done 5 to 7 roofs in the last 2 months. Appreciate the hard work. And please keep allowing exceptions. Yes, yes. Scott Venecia, Vegas. What's up, sir?
Yeah, great question. So I had a client the other day. I was totally stumped in how to answer. So their roof, they probably won't need one for another at least 10 years. But his concern was, what do we do? I said, well, we have to have it removed. He said, and then replaced after the roofing. He said, well, that voids the warranty. I'm like, yeah, you're right, it does. And we don't do remove and replace. So what happens with that?
Right. Removal and reinstallation of solar panels.
Right.
I believe that's an O&M department. It's case by case. We need to find a partner or third party in that area.
Oh, so we actually do them.
I would say it's $350 per panel. We haven't crossed that bridge quite yet, Kristin, but that would be my answer.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer your question Scott, so we can dig into that and get back to you. But yeah, I think that it would be getting the O&M department involved and the operations team to kind of think through that.
So I could tell them the possibility does exist. We just have to research it.
Yeah, I put Greg Kopp with the O&M department's email in the chat if you want to ask him. That's a great question. Maybe we could ask on the leadership council call tomorrow morning. But I typically tell people it's going to be around 300 to 350 a panel at that time. Otherwise, it may be increasing. So yeah, that's my answer.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, there are third-party services that do that as well. One of them is SST, not to get off in the weeds here. And, that's like
avoid our warranty if somebody else does it.
The SST gives you their own warranty. They're a third-party company. That's who like Sunrun uses. But again, let's get with Greg on that and see if Powur can come up with guidelines as we start to become more of a mature company here.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Mondo
Jonathan, I have a hard stop. I'm so sorry. I have an interview actually at 11, so I have to scoot. But I don't know if Erwin wants to stay on a little bit longer to keep going through Q&A, or we'd love to hear from you guys. You can always email roofing@powur.com.
Beautiful. Thanks so much, Kristin, for joining us and for all the help with the roofing department. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Bye, guys.
Take care. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.